Hey guys, Ken Smith, KenSmithFishing.com. 2 days on Toledo Bend. Lots of fun. I'm sure you couldn't see my eyes crossed behind my sunglasses. It's brutal. So yesterday, I went up and basically put in behind 12-15, fished all that up there. I had for sure one bite. Not for sure two, not three, not dos. One for sure bite. I caught this little 1.5 pound, 2 pound fish on a spinnerbait.
Sure, a good solid keeper.
I'm not sure who was more surprised, me or that fish, that he got caught. I had maybe another one slap a trap and maybe another one slap a spinnerbait, but I would not bet anything on that. So rather than making that 15-mile run up there today, I went 10 miles the other way. I went all the way down and fished Lews, and then fished my way back 6 miles, just all the way back up. I had 3 bites all day long. And now I didn't practice, but I'm a pretty decent fisherman and I've spent a lot of time on Toledo Bend. It's brutal. I saw Daryl Gleason, who's a very good fisherman, late this afternoon, and he had 4, and I mean, he guides here. So that tells you how tough the fishing is. And it's crazy. It should be good. 2 weeks ago it was good. It'll be good again really, really soon. We just caught it on a bad weekend. What happened? There's some dirty water coming down the lake, but honestly, it's not that dirty. I know the ABA guys are coming. I expect they're going to catch them. They should catch them. We should have caught them. Some guys caught them. I was disgusted and left. But the only guys that I know that caught them today, I talked to a guy that had 5 little ones on a drop shot out deep. He said he caught 5 really quick. I know a guy who caught a limit on an Alabama rig, which I threw all day today. I caught one on an Alabama rig and I caught one on a Cinco. And then his co-angler may, I don't know what's leading the co-angler side, but he said his co-angler probably had 15 pounds throwing that A rig, and his co-angler started out throwing it. He didn't throw it till later in the day. And then Scotty, my buddy from Arkansas, had a limit throwing crankbait today, throwing I think a 5XD, just kind of fishing main lake stuff, main lake points and stuff. So it's as tough as I've seen Toledo in a long time. I mean, it was tough last summer, but this is just cold and muddy water or off-color water and just a funky time. It'll recover really fast and they'll be slugging them. I mean, 2 weeks ago, it took 24 pounds, got 4th place in the tournament here. So it'll be like that again real soon, but I would give it another week before I wanted to come back to Toledo again. And by the way, I've said this before, I love fishing Toledo. I like fishing Toledo every bit as much as I like fishing Rayburn. Toledo fish is much bigger than Rayburn, but this was no fun. I did shoot one thing yesterday after I caught that spinnerbait fish, just sort of a lesson on getting the right equipment for throwing a spinnerbait and learning some stuff for you young guys who are learning, high school and junior high school guys. When you can't get on the water and want to have something to practice, try this. Hey guys,
So with the lakes being high this spring, one of the things that's really going to come into play quite a bit is pitching baits, and in this case I'm throwing a spinnerbait up underneath stuff. And I see guys making a mistake, and I realized it this morning because I'm making the same mistake. I came over here with no intent of doing anything other than fishing out over the drains, but I'm up flipping the bushes because I'm not getting bit out there. And one of the things that really makes it difficult to pitch in these bushes is a long rod. Now this is my preferred rod, and I'll have something different tomorrow if I start getting bit doing this. This is my preferred rod for throwing a spinnerbait out in open water, and it's a MHCRR7.6, so it's a long rod. Now by the way, I'm 6'2", and it's still a little bit too long for me to really make the proper pitch, and here's the reason why. So when you're making that pitch up underneath something, you want the trajectory of that bait to be right at water level or no more than a foot, not rising and not falling, on a straight line. And if you're trying to skip baits, you got to do the same thing. Well, the difficulty in this longer rod is this. For me to really get that bait up under here, I'm hitting the water. So ideally what you want, in my case, it's actually about a 6'10" rod's perfect, and I prefer a little shorter handle to give me some more room up underneath. And that'll make what I call a roll cast a lot easier to do. And it's something you young guys, who don't get to spend all the time on the lake some other guys do, this is something you can get better at in the backyard. I learned to do this by putting a bucket under a picnic table, and I would just practice firing that thing in there underneath that picnic table as if it was a limb. You can do it under a bush in the yard, you can do it under the patio table, you can do all kinds of stuff. But what you want to be able to do is fire that bait back into that cover and not let that bait get up so you can throw it under those trees. For example, there's a great, now this one doesn't have real low limbs, but there is a great cypress tree right there. And I want to put that bait in there under those limbs on that cypress tree. It's been great if I gotten a bite, but the way today's going, it's not going to happen. But you know, that's something that you can practice at the house. Get yourself a shorter rod. Ideally, what you want is a rod that when you're standing on the front deck of the boat, you can really get up underneath yourself and not hit the water. So, you know, a guy that's 5'6", 5'8" might go all the way down to a 6-foot rod. And by the way, some guys still use a pistol grip or a super short handle rod, and the reason is it's so much easier to maneuver. The other thing you need to learn how to do is do it off of both sides. You got to be able to do it off the left side, and I'll admit I'm not as good off the off the right side. I'm not as good off the left side, but I'm not bad. Watch Kevin Van Dam. You can't tell whether he's throwing righty or lefty. He is so good making that underhanded left-handed pitch. It's going to be a big difference maker as you grow as a fisherman and learning to get baits in different places, going around boat docks, going around bushes, when you can throw it in there right-handed, left-handed, or underhanded, any one of the three. Hope that's helpful for you guys.
So that's something you can do in the backyard and just get better right-handed, left-handed, underhanded. And by the way, if you're going to do that, stand on a chair so you're kind of the same height you are, you know, standing in a boat, and practice that. Practice shooting that thing up underneath stuff, and that'll come in real handy for you as you mature as a fisherman. So tomorrow is the Sweet 16 tournament on Rayburn. I'm really looking forward to that. I don't know how the fishing is. I haven't been on Rayburn. My partner, Steve Evans, AKA Moon Pie, was over there today. So hopefully the pie figured something out and we'll have a good time. But even if we don't catch him, we will have fun tomorrow because he's fun to fish with. So there you go. Hopefully we'll have some footage up besides that. By the way, I never turned the GoPro on today. I knew how hard it was going to be. I knew there were not going to be many fish catches, and I would have burned a whole lot of time today messing with it for those two little knotheads. I had two that weighed 4.5 pounds, so sorry. Hopefully we'll get some footage for you guys tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Let's go to Rayburn.